What I'm wearing right now is a special protective gear because this area around us is filled with unexploded mines. In the country of Armenia, there are still a ton of unexploded mines 25 years after the war ended. To this day, soldiers are searching for mines, people are injured from mines, and others die because of them. Even if the war in Syria ends now, the destroyed schools, infrastructure, education, and unexploded bombs will affect people for generations to come. This is just one of the many hidden costs of war. As we detonate mines from 25 years ago and meet victims of them, I am convinced war doesn't end even when peace comes. Hey, let me ask you a question. How long is your name? See, most names are actually not that long. Sarah, Mark, and Josh. But I have just arrived to a place where people's names are extremely long. Like this name.
Yalani Ikaiko Kuakini Makayo.
Tanaya Kapua Lehua Unapali Kahila Kaala.
Kuyike o Kalania Ali Kumakani Kamakea Ohela.
Kanyo no Hoku Nalani Ken Takeuchi. This is Hawaii, one of the most unique U.S. states where people have names in the Hawaiian language that are so long they can barely fit on an ID card. Because here, names have meaning. So this name
Kanyo no Hoku Nalani
actually means
Heavenly Man of the Stars.
Hawaiian names are not just words, they can also be a sentence, a poem, thought, or a feeling. Come visit the state of Hawaii because here the people actually live up to their name. That's 1 minute. Meet Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg, and I love making things simple for you.
In today's world, many people are scared that science is too hard or too boring. Greg used to be a university science student himself until
I quit my degree to go live in the wild.
And after 100 days in the wild, sleeping underneath the stars, 1, he started to look like Gandalf, and 2, he noticed the stars shifted during his sleep. And that's when he knew
there is something magical about the universe.
He bought a couple of astronomy books and a binocular and taught himself. Whatever he learned, he taught others, but this time
only using language that everybody understands.
He was so easy to understand that in 23 years, he taught 100,000 people about the universe and inspired many to become scientists themselves. Greg is an example that science does not have to be hard or boring, it just has to be taught well.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Meet Nikos.
Hi, my name is Nikos, and I am the mayor.
Nikos is only 23 years old, but he is the youngest mayor in the history of Cyprus at his beautiful village of Lofu. Despite his age, Nikos wanted to lead his village, and out of 200 voters total, 109 people voted for him.
And I won.
And most of his votes came from older people.
One of them was 93 years old.
Despite his age, he manages water, electricity infrastructure, businesses, church, a team of 4 people, a 500,000 euro budget while still being a full-time law student. Everywhere in the world, the older you are, the wiser you're supposed to be. But Nikos is the best example that your age should never stop you from doing what you're already capable of doing.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Meet Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I make vodka from sheep.
This is the only guy in the world that can make vodka from a sheep. Here is how. First off,
I juice the sheep.
Then
I take the milk.
Then
separate the sugar.
Then
I make the vodka.
I'm sitting here wondering
vodka is so good, it got the best vodka award in the world.
And every bottle is handwritten.
Ryan lives in the beautiful island of Tasmania in Australia with his beautiful family. After 10 years of making cheese from sheep, he got bored, and after tons of research, he created the world's first sheep vodka. With a bit of determination, this small family on a small farm on a small island was able to turn milk into vodka.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
When I was a kid, I learned about heaven and hell. And in my mind, heaven looked like this. Turns out, there's a place in real life that looks like the exact image of heaven I had in mind. It's called the Maldives. And it's the closest to heaven I've ever gotten. It's a country made up of 1,000 islands floating on the ocean, surrounded by clear sands that feel like snow, at beautiful resorts that leave you speechless, with incredible food, weather, and infinity pools. On these islands, the water is as clear as it gets, and the breakfast comes floating on it. All of this is in the middle of nowhere near the equator. Once you visit the Maldives, you will want to become a better person just so you can go to heaven for a second time. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. The guy you see next to me is very interesting. Here is why. Meet Peter.
Hey.
Peter doesn't talk much or care much. He just does tattoos. But unlike many, his tattoo shop is a bunker. This bunker was one of many built to protect Albania at times of war. And after the government fell, Peter decided to turn his bunker into a tattoo shop. In his bunker, he has no prices. Once you get a tattoo, if he likes you,
It's free.
and if he doesn't,
It's expensive.
and he has no open hours schedule either.
If you don't find me here, don't look for me because I'll be gone for good.
Tattoos are a huge commitment and they last forever. So if you're gonna get one, then you might as well do it here, in the middle of nowhere in northern Albania, in a communist bunker by a guy with a lot of talent and few words. This unique memory will last forever, just like your tattoo.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
I hate visas. But I have just arrived to a country that is entirely visa free! Yes, free. Entirely. Which means everyone from every fully independent country,
Morocco! Philippines! Iran! India!
can come to this tiny Seychelles country without applying for a visa. It's visa-free, cost-free. That's very rare to see.
Welcome to
The Seychelles is a small paradise of 100,000 people in Africa, where they have the richest country with the most powerful African passport. As the rest of the world struggles with visa applications and rejections, let's look at the Seychelles. Because the people of the Seychelles built a paradise that is open for everyone. That's 1 minute. See you Good morning. It's time for my usual cup of coffee. Actually, it isn't. Because I never drink coffee. This is the thing I've avoided my entire life. Because coffee, however sexy and tasty and mainstream it looks, is a drug. Call me Grandpa.
Grandpa.
I've seen too many of my friends who couldn't function normally without a daily cup of coffee. They get headaches, jitters, restlessness, and get so addicted that coffee does nothing but cure their headache that came from coffee in the first place. And sometimes they even drink coffee and go to sleep. In these cases, what's the point of it? Don't get me wrong, coffee is a great source of energy and is good in moderation. But for me, I'd rather get all my energy from sleep. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. What I'm about to say will anger some people. Because you can't learn how to swim without jumping in the deep end of the pool. Let me explain. Most people who want to learn how to swim or learn anything new, they enter the water step by step. They go in slowly, they ask questions, they hesitate, and by the time they're halfway there, they quit. 2 years ago, I did not know how to use a camera, but I wanted to learn. So instead of going to film school for 2 years, ask questions, and hesitate, I bought this camera and made terrible videos every day with it. And after hundreds of days, I became an expert at this, at this, at this, at this. I jumped from the deep end of the pool even if I hesitated in the beginning. This experience has taught me to become an expert at anything, you have to go all in. Trust me, you'll come out from the shallow end knowing how to swim and how to win. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Unfortunately, there's only 43 days left of this 1,000-day journey. So it's the perfect time to follow this page here and here. If you are a video maker and you have jumped from the deep end of the pool and did not drown, then I'm looking to work with you. I want to have 100 more NAS dailies for my next project. I'm easy to find. All I need is a minute of your day every single day, and today you have given me 2. Thank you so much for your time. Hi! We're all sleeping on the street tonight to make a point. And that point is simple. Tokyo is expensive. An airport train, that's an easy 30 bucks. If you want to do that in a cab, that'll be in the hundreds because a 10-minute ride is 35 bucks. Fruits and vegetables are also expensive. I walked into this specialty shop where a single peach costs 8 bucks, pomegranates 12 bucks, papaya 21 bucks, and these grapes 250 bucks. Which means these 3 grapes are $36. I bought them just to see if they're good. They're not. A haircut is 40 bucks, an Adidas jacket is 250 bucks, and a tiny room in a hotel is no cheaper than 150 bucks. But after spending $12 for 1 grape, we'd rather sleep on the street. Good morning, that's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Meet Takoro.
Hi, I'm Takuro. I'm Japanese crazy boy.
This is why Takoro says he is crazy. Takoro took dried roses, dipped them in gold, and sold them to boyfriends googling for
Girlfriend? Present? Expensive.
That's how he made $200,000. Then he wanted to talk to machines, so he built a ring. With a swipe, the ring controls your apps just like that.
It works.
But Takoro couldn't talk to people because he couldn't speak English.
In Taco Bell, it took me 5 minutes to order a water.
So he built a device to allow people like him to talk to people.
お水が欲しいです。
I'd like a glass of water.
It's a device that translates on the spot. No internet, no app, just click. Takoro grew up knowing only Japanese. Yes! But instead of learning another language, he found a way to learn every language. That's crazy.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Es 1 minutos. Nos vemos mañana.
Last week, I showed you how Japan loves fish. That's why they have the world's largest fish market. You know, a place that sells fish. Little did I know, fish is a sensitive topic, and this turned into a huge backlash.
You should be ashamed of yourself, asshole, murderer, go vegan!
Look, you are right. In a few years, I'll probably become vegetarian myself, simply because we don't need meat to survive. But what humans also don't need is for you to vilify, guilt trip, and make them sound like murderers simply for eating what you don't eat. There is nothing wrong with your mission, but there is something wrong with the way you try to achieve it. Tell me how meat hurts the planet, tell me how vegetables are healthier, tell me how this is unsustainable. But don't tell me I'm an asshole for not having the same conviction as you do. Humans can't survive without meat, but humans cannot survive without each other. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Hello from the middle of the world, the equator!
In Ecuador, where the northern and the southern hemispheres are separated by this line. At the middle of the world, twice a year, your shadow disappears entirely because the sun is right above you. The water drains straight down, not right or left. Your watch is not needed because of solar time. Here, you can't balance yourself on a straight line. But you can balance an egg on a nail. At the equator, you are very close to the sun, because the mountains are high and the earth bulges towards the center. An entire country, Ecuador, is named after this place, where you will find this, and these people. The world is a fun place, but in the middle of it, it's even more fun.
That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow!
This food product is sold 22 million times every year in Australia. But if you're outside of Australia, I'm going to taste it for you to spare you the pain. Because this food is disgusting. I almost threw up. This is Vegemite, a popular food in Australia made of yeast that I and million others think this is inedible. While Australians, young and old,
love it.
They put it on toast like it's Nutella. They put it in boiling water like it's hot chocolate, and they eat it without anything either.
Yum.
Even Australian dogs like it. This Vegemite is supposed to be healthy and come with a lot of vitamins, but once you smell it and taste it, you'll never want a vitamin inside your body ever again. This is the best example of how one man's pain is another man's pleasure.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
One of the best parts of Indian culture is an Indian wedding. So today I decided to fake marry my actual girlfriend,
me,
in an Indian wedding! Here's how our Indian wedding went. The day before, we got the henna, the jewelry, and the fancy clothes and invited all of our Indian friends. On wedding day, I, the groom, arrived on a beautiful horse, surrounded by good-looking friends and lots of fireworks and music. And then I waited for my bride to arrive. She did arrive on a boat, then was carried by 4 men to meet her new husband. Together, we performed Hindu rituals to unofficially become husband and wife. And from that point on, our Indian wedding began. With amazing food, dance, and music. It's true, our wedding was not real, but the richness of Indian culture, weddings, and people are as real as they get. Parents control kids. So many parents control the lives of their kids even after they grow up. That's why today I want to show you my parents.
Hi, I'm Mom.
Hi, I'm Dad.
I love my parents because they respect my choices. They give me freedom to immigrate to where I want, to study what I want, to work where I want, to date who I want, and to do what I want. They are always on the sidelines, supporting me every day, but never controlling me.
We love our kids.
This freedom and trust is why I'm able to live my life and achieve my dreams. I am lucky. And the only thing I wish for other people is not money or wealth. It's loving parents like mine who help you achieve your dreams and not theirs. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow!
Yes, it worked. Hi! On this holiday season, a lot of us are buying gifts, especially Apple products. And I'm sure a lot of us are thinking the exact same thing about Apple. Their products are beautiful, but they're expensive. This MacBook, it's $2,000 and it's thin. So thin that if you drop it, that's $2,000 gone. And your old devices cannot plug into your new laptop unless you use an Apple adapter. They made one and they priced it at $50 for this. $50. So your total MacBook price is way more than $2,000 if it doesn't break. Your headphones, they cut the wires and call them AirPods. But with one wrong move, your $160 are gone. Your new iPhone is the best iPhone since iPhone. But if you take our software update, your new iPhone will be the slowest iPhone since the newer iPhone. All of this is designed so you give Apple your money every single Christmas. Merry Christmas, that's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
This is where we are, in the middle of an empty ocean, 500 meters away from what used to be a beach. Because here in Zanzibar, when it's low tide, the beach literally disappears for miles. And because of that, this turns into a playground. People go inside the ocean to hang out. Kids go play, tourists take selfie, while others kite surf. Locals go for long walks on the ocean, others go for motorcycle rides, animals run around, and people make money by growing seaweed. Lots and lots of seaweed. Remember, all of this is in the middle of the ocean.
You see, that is a real fish.
And before you know it, the fun is over. High tide kicks, people run back to safety, and the water goes back to normal like nothing has ever happened on this beach. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Okay, the following is true. I just tried to go on Wikipedia to learn about something as simple as puppies. The page didn't load. I thought it was an internet problem. But turns out it's not. Wikipedia is banned.
No way!
Here in Turkey, for the past 1 year, Wikipedia, the world's biggest online encyclopedia to share information, is banned. I don't know why they would ban such a thing, but I do know that this stuff happens here and everywhere else. In Egypt, Human Rights Watch website is banned. In China and Iran, this thing called Facebook is banned. In Russia, Telegram is banned, and in the Philippines, Uber was banned for a while as well. And the list goes on and on and on. But this video is not to justify the bans, it's to show you what people do inside these countries. Take Turkey, for example. Wikipedia is banned, but the people found a way around it. They use a website that is an identical copy of Wikipedia with a different name that for some reason is not banned.
You didn't ban it yet? What's up?
In Zimbabwe, the government banned people from working as taxis. So an informal taxi system popped up where people drove each other around without using taxis. And when Turkey banned Uber, people still drove each other around. In Iran and China, people use fake private networks just to connect to the internet and use Facebook. If you're from Iran, please comment below. No matter what governments around the world try to do, it's amazing how people always find ways around it. There's only one thing people in power must understand. It's that information, online and offline, should always be accessible by everyone. and anyone that tries to limit that is doomed to fail.
No way!
Guys, the country I'm in right now has no army.
No army!
No army!
Yes, this is Grenada. It's an actual country in the beautiful Caribbean with its own land, government, and economy, but no army. Instead of grenades, in Grenada, they have cocoa. Here, they grow world-class chocolate that you will love. This is insane. Instead of army bases, they have beaches. This one is rated as one of the best in the world. And instead of aircrafts, they have super boats. And instead of the army, they just have police.
How you doing, guys?
Who keeps this place safe. Come to Grenada. It's so safe, they don't need an army. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow!
It's been a while. One week ago, the strongest storm in 35 years hit the city of Hong Kong. Hundreds of offices shattered, thousands of trees destroyed, and millions of lives disrupted. The entire city came to a standstill, and this is where it gets amazing. Yeah! Within 2 days only, 2 days, thousands of people volunteered to clean up the typhoon mess. Minorities, immigrants, and locals all chipped in to help. Firemen worked for 36 hours non-stop, and most of the city was back in order. Festivals, highways, people. It's hard to believe a typhoon hit the city a week before. In other developed countries, recovery could take years. We all need to learn from Hong Kong, because what was supposed to destroy the city only made it stronger. What you hear now is not just a whistle. This is a real language called the bird language. See, I am here at a remote village in the mountains of Turkey. And because the houses of this village are far from each other, the locals decided that to communicate, it's easier to whistle. This village has developed a new language that has over 250 unique words that is taught at schools to kids, and that's been around for over 500 years. For example, this is a conversation. And these conversations can happen over a 2.5 kilometer distance. In a world full of languages, the most beautiful ones seem to belong to the birds. That's 1 minute! When I was a kid, my biggest dream was to study at Harvard. But when I told that to my friends, they said, Harvard is expensive. It's $60,000 a year. You don't have the money. And they were right. I didn't. But I also didn't take their word for it. I went home, got on Google, and typed 2 words. Harvard Scholarship. Exactly 1 minute later, I learned that all my friends are wrong. Harvard doesn't cost $60,000. If you get into Harvard and you can't afford it, like me, it will cost you nothing, because they will give you a scholarship. So the hardest thing wasn't the money, it was to get in. I sent in my application, and to my surprise, I got in. Harvard gave me a full scholarship of $60,000 a year. If I had listened to what everyone said, I would have never applied. But because I Googled, I achieved a dream. Sometimes all it takes to change your life is a simple Google search. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Guys, I think I have just arrived to a place where you don't sweat. This is not a joke. This state called is so dry, that even when it's 95 degrees hot after a crazy exercise in the middle of the desert, you won't sweat much.
No sweat!
Because most of it evaporates in the air immediately. Sweat has been a major problem for people like me. It forces us to shower every time we go outside. It makes you feel unpleasant and sticky, and it smells. But in these places, the salt lakes, the salt flats, and the mountains, the weather is one of the driest in the United States. It can be bad for some, but for many like me, you can finally go outside, experience the beautiful nature, the crazy green mountains, and the crazy white salt flats, all without having to smell.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Yesterday, my girlfriend almost cried. I asked her what happened, and she said,
I lost my entire makeup bag.
To me, it wasn't a big deal. We just buy a new one and move on. But then she said,
all that makeup cost $300.
$300? My entire wardrobe doesn't cost that much. And that opened my eyes to a bigger issue. Women have a more expensive life. If you look at the numbers, and this is a real thing, women products cost a lot.
This is $12 and it's not the original.
From clothes to hair care to makeup, on average they spend $13,000 over a lifetime just on makeup. That's $13,000 more than I will ever spend. And sometimes even for the same product, the female version costs more. The only difference is the color. That is crazy. Man, it's expensive to be a woman.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
I can't cook. I can't cook because I'm a man. And in my community, women do the cooking. This is the case in many places around the world. But not here in the Seychelles Islands. This country has a matriarchal society where instead of women, men are the ones who cook.
Let's cook!
So it is not rare to see men in the kitchen discussing recipes.
This is typical Seychellois.
Sitting up the table and cooking food.
This is salted fish.
And it is not rare to see women doing other household work, looking over the men, or complimenting them.
Nice smell.
Everybody needs to see this, because in the Seychelles, the people figured out how to balance housework between women and men.
Food is ready!
Here, at least in the house, there is equality.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
This is where we are, at a completely empty ocean. Yes, here in Canada, they have the highest tides in the world. The highest. Which means every day the water drops by up to 16 meters and the ocean disappears for miles.
Can't touch this.
And with no water, people go for long walks on the ocean. Others go for mudsliding and others go for meditation. And when the water comes back in, it gets even more fun! The tide creates one of the most fascinating phenomena.
This is like waves in the middle of the river.
A wave that comes out of nowhere that you can ride. This is very fun. This is very unique.
And very rare.
The highest tides in the world will take your breath away.
Can't touch this.
The world is an amazing place, but this part of it is even more so.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
What I'm holding right now is normal water. But what if I told you that this normal water is made of pee? Before you get disgusted, think again. Here in Singapore, they don't have that much water. So they made their own fresh water from the toilet. They took this water, and this water, yes, it includes pee, and turned it into fresh, drinkable water. They cleaned every single molecule of this water to make it cleaner than the one you buy. Because this was tested 150,000 times. You, me, and everyone could drink this water with no problem.
Yes!
Good. As the rest of the world wastes water, everyone should look at Singapore, who is trying to recycle every single drop of it. Here, even pee doesn't go to waste. For the past 8 years, I have never purchased a non-Apple product. I only bought MacBooks, I only bought iPhones. Even when I was a broke college student, because whatever Apple released, it was guaranteed to be exceptional, and I didn't think twice. But 7 years with the latest iPhone and the latest MacBooks, I am convinced that Apple is slacking. Everything they make has issues in it, everything. Faulty keyboards, faulty screens, fragile products, bad face recognition, terrible screen surfaces, terrible user interface, and the same expensive price tag have convinced me that for my next purchase, I am going to look elsewhere. This is not an ad for Apple competitors, it's just a realization of a long-time fanboy that Apple is no longer the unquestionable king. And I feel saddened, betrayed, and broke. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. I checked the date today, only to realize that my health insurance ran out yesterday. And now that I'm here in the United States without insurance, I feel more scared than the time I was in a war zone. Dude, this is not safe. Because medical care in the United States is so expensive that one small accident can leave you in debt for the rest of your life. I went online to get insurance only to find hundreds of companies with tens of plans with confusing names. And none of them were particularly cheap. Health insurance is still a huge problem in the United States for tourists and for citizens alike. And if I couldn't get peace of mind from one day without health insurance, imagine how millions of others feel when they live without it for years. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hi. The worst part about traveling is
airports.
They are never fun and always stressful. Except this one! What you're looking at is the best, most epic, most amazing airport in the world, and this is not an exaggeration. Because this airport has everything you need and don't need. A full, gigantic 5-story
playground!
A museum, a movie theater, an outdoor sunflower garden, a barber, a million restaurants, and a million power plugs, which other airports don't have. An automatic toilet, and a slide! A swimming pool, a fish pond, a sleeping space, and a butterfly garden. All of this just to get on a plane. Airports usually suck, but the people in Singapore turned a stressful place into a Disneyland.
Last 1 minute. See you tomorrow!
Woo! I don't drink coffee, but I have just arrived to the country of Australia! This small country by the coast of Europe doesn't produce any coffee, but this is the country with the highest number of coffee shops per capita in the world. Here, every corner you go to has a coffee shop. 18,000 of them, one shop for 169 people, and 0 of them are Starbucks. Here, each cup costs 50 cents. And for that price, you can buy coffee for an entire classroom without breaking the bank.
No, I'm gonna pay.
Albania is a hospitable country that has suffered from dictatorship and poverty for many, many years. If the insane amount of cheap, tasty, welcoming coffee shops don't get you to visit, then maybe the people will. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hi, welcome to Australia, where everything is upside
down.
See, at any university, if you get a D on your exam, you have failed. But in Australia, D is great. It means distinction. There is no A. Tipping in Australia is not required. What you see here is what you pay. Unlike in the US, where you gotta pay tax and tip on top. In Australia, the water flushes the opposite way. People drive on the opposite side, and weather is the complete opposite. December is hot and July is cold. That's why Santa is naked. And most surprisingly, the word is used a lot.
Hey, how are ya? I'm good. Yourself? Good, man.
I'm serious. Water, weather, language, grades, tips, and distance are all done the opposite way. Maybe that's why they call Australia the country
Down Under.
See you tomorrow.
That's 1 minute.
Meet Campbell.
Hi, I'm Campbell, and I make a teddy bear every day.
Campbell is a 14-year-old kid living in Tasmania, Australia. He wanted to help people, but he has no money or job.
I'm only 14.
But what his mom did have was
a sewing machine.
So he taught himself how to make teddy bears from scratch, to send them to people around the world who could use a bit of support anywhere in the world.
I've made over 1,400 teddy bears so far.
And that act of kindness went viral. People from around the world joined his cause and donated money to raise over $150,000 and help a ton more people. Just hold on and think about this for a second. A 14-year-old boy with no money or resources found a way to change his world and the world of many others simply because he wanted to be kind. Because according to him,
kindness matters. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Good afternoon. Right now is lunchtime. Today is a work day, and on this island, all these restaurants are closed. Closed, closed, closed. It's because today is the first day of Ramadan. Here in the Maldives and around the world, where Muslims do not eat or drink anything for the whole day until sunset. That's why these restaurants don't need to open. Think about this. Almost 2 billion people agree that for this month, you should try to be a better human, to learn humility and patience and feel for the hungry and the poor. And at the end of it, celebrate as a community. This is a big part of the Muslim culture that sadly goes unnoticed as the media focuses on what's bad. But as 24% of the world celebrates Ramadan, try to join them. Their restaurants might be closed, but their homes are not. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. meet Nikos.
Hi, my name is Nikos, and I am the mayor.
Nikos is only 23 years old, but he is the youngest mayor in the history of Cyprus at his beautiful village of Lofu. Despite his age, Nikos wanted to lead his village, and out of 200 voters total, 109 people voted for him.
And I won!
And most of his votes came from older people.
One of them was 93 years old.
Despite his age, he manages water, electricity infrastructure, businesses, church, a team of 4 people, a 500,000 euro budget while still being a full-time law student. Everywhere in the world, the older you are, the wiser you're supposed to be. But Nikos is the best example that your age should never stop you from doing what you're already capable of doing.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Before you get frustrated, watch this video. Because this is the story of a guy...
Hi, my name is Nimrod.
...who likes spinning tops. But every time they fall, he gets frustrated.
I hate it.
So he set out to put an end to his frustration and find a way to stop spinning tops from falling. With his friend, he spent 2 years thinking until they came up with...
an idea.
The idea is to take a chip, motor, and small battery and hide them inside the spinning top. You spin it and it doesn't fall. It keeps going and going. It went from 1 minute to 40 hours of non-stop spinning.
Because now, the motor doesn't let it fall.
This invention became a Guinness World Record for the longest spin in the world, and thousands of people wanted to buy it from him to make almost $1 million in revenue. The next time you're frustrated, think of this.
Maybe you connect all of it together and it will actually work one day.
Because with the right attitude, you could turn a frustration into a world record and $1 million.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How long is your name? See, most names are actually not that long. Sarah, Mark, and Josh. But I have just arrived to a place where people's names are extremely long. Like this name.
Helani ikaiko kuakini makayo.
Tanaya kapua lehua o na pali kahila ka'ala.
Ku'ike o kalania ali kumakani kamakea o hela.
Kanyo no hoku o nalani ken takeuchi.
This is Hawaii, one of the most unique U.S. states where people have names in the Hawaiian language that are so long they can barely fit on an ID card. Because here, names have meaning. So this name
Kanyo no hoku o nalani
actually means
heavenly man of the stars.
Hawaiian names are not just words, they can also be a sentence, a poem, thought, or a feeling. Come visit the state of Hawaii because here the people actually live up to their name.
That's 1 minute. See you!
What I'm wearing right now is a special protective gear because this area around us is filled with unexploded mines. In the country of Armenia, there are still a ton of unexploded mines 25 years after the war ended. To this day, soldiers are searching for mines, people are injured from mines, and others die because of them. Even if the war in Syria ends now, the destroyed schools, infrastructure, education, and unexploded bombs will affect people for generations to come. This is just one of the many hidden costs of war. As we detonate mines from 25 years ago and meet victims of them, I am convinced war doesn't end even when peace comes. Meet Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg, and I love making things simple for you.
In today's world, many people are scared that science is too hard or too boring. Greg used to be a university science student himself until
I quit my degree to go live in the wild.
And after 100 days in the wild, sleeping underneath the stars, 1, he started to look like Gandalf, and 2, he noticed the stars shifted during his sleep. And that's when he knew
there is something magical about the universe.
He bought a couple of astronomy books and a binocular and taught himself. Whatever he learned, he taught others, but this time
only using language that everybody understands.
He was so easy to understand that in 23 years, he taught 100,000 people about the universe and inspired many to become scientists themselves. Greg is an example that science does not have to be hard or boring, it just has to be taught well.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
When I was a kid, I learned about heaven and hell. And in my mind, heaven looked like this. Turns out, there's a place in real life that looks like the exact image of heaven I had in mind. It's called the Maldives. And it's the closest to heaven I've ever gotten. It's a country made up of 1,000 islands floating on the ocean, surrounded by clear sands that feel like snow, at beautiful resorts that leave you speechless, with incredible food, weather, and infinity pools. On these islands, the water is as clear as it gets, and the breakfast comes floating on it. All of this is in the middle of nowhere near the equator. Once you visit the Maldives, you will want to become a better person just so you can go to heaven for a second time. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. This is an American passport. It's powerful, it's amazing. If you are an American, no one can mess with you. I want this passport, and many people in the world do, because this comes with the American dream. But I have just arrived to a place where people have the citizenship, but not the dream. This is a community in Puerto Rico that was struck by a hurricane 6 months ago. And until now, these guys have no electricity, no rooftops, no cell service, and some don't even have clean water. These are American citizens who have served their country, that are now living on car batteries, basic water filters, ice coolers, and patience. This is not a conservative versus liberal. This is not a Republican versus Democrat. This is an American issue. If a country is as strong as its most vulnerable members, then how strong is an American citizenship? That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hi! In the past year, I've been to almost 30 countries. 30. And if you ask me, what do all these countries have in common? I would say Filipinos. And this is true. Everywhere I go, I see people from the Philippines living and working there. I saw many of them in Malta, in New Zealand, in Egypt, in Japan, in the United States, and even here in a small town of 15,000 people in Broome, Australia, I find in the world there are 10 million Filipinos who left their home and their family to do the hard jobs and get a better chance of life for little money and little recognition. The next time you see a Filipino, thank them, because they probably helped build your country and mine. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow! If I buy this $10,000 ring and give it to my girlfriend as a gift, here's what would happen. First, she will say,
"What the heck is this?"
Then she'll get angry, take the ring, return it, and use the money in a better way. The truth is, expensive gifts,
I would never want them.
And I would never buy them in the first place for a reason. So much of today's world is dedicated to luxury gifts, handbags, and jewelry, and people feel compelled to gift them even if it means taking a loan. Why? Just to tell someone you love them? There are better, cheaper, more effective ways to express love without having to buy a $10,000 ring. At the end of the day,
we are convinced.
If it takes a lot of money to make a significant other happy, then maybe, just maybe, this is a sign that you're in a wrong relationship. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow!
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that 1 minute video. Unfortunately, there are exactly 76 days left of this 1,000-day journey. And I want to make sure that everybody watching these videos is actually following this page. Because whatever I do next is going to be bigger and better than this, hopefully. All I want is a minute of your day every single day, and today, you have given me an extra one. And for that, I thank you. Let me ask you a question. How long is your language? See, to say the word economics in German, you say Wirtschaft, Wissenschaften. But here in Australia, I found a language that is shorter than your German and shorter than your English. It's the Aussie slang. Instead of saying avocado, these guys say Instead of kangaroo, instead of sandwich, McDonald's, afternoon, definitely,
Defo,
cigarette,
Siggy,
Melbourne cricket ground, breakfast,
Brekkie,
football, footy, and even a self-portrait picture. You know, this, they call it... Yes, selfie was invented in Australia. You can count on Australians to make every word sound different and shortened. Because even their country name Australia, they call... That's 1 minute! Meet Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I make vodka from sheep.
This is the only guy in the world that can make vodka from a sheep. Here is how. First off,
I juice the sheep.
Then,
I take the milk.
Then,
separate the sugar.
Then,
I make the vodka.
And that vodka is so good, it got the best vodka award in the world.
And every bottle is handwritten.
Ryan lives in the beautiful island of Tasmania in Australia with his beautiful family. After 10 years of making cheese from sheep, he got bored, and after tons of research, he created the world's first sheep vodka. With a bit of determination, this small family on a small farm on a small island was able to turn milk into vodka.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Meet Clement.
Hi, my name is Clement Suleiman, and I always wanted to be black.
Hold your breath for a second and hear his story. As a child in Belgium, Clement believed that he was black, so much that he painted his skin black. That's why his mom took him to a psychologist.
And the psychologist said, for the next vacation, just take him to Africa.
And at age 13, he landed in Senegal and never looked back. He got the citizenship, learned all 5 local dialects, opened a business, married a Senegalese woman, and had 2 kids with her. Clement will never truly be black. But he is an example of how home is not necessarily where you are born and how you are born. Home is the place you truly feel comfortable inside. And for this Belgian kid, it was in Senegal with his new family.
That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
The guy you see next to me doesn't need to use Google. Here is why.
Hey, I am Cap. I can do everything only using my body.
With his body, Cap can do wonders. He can start a fire with his hands and put off a fire with his feet. He can climb a coconut tree with his legs, husk a coconut with his mouth, open it with his muscles, and milk it with his hands.
100% organic.
And his tattoos?
I did by myself.
This 52-year-old is super fit and young because he only eats vegan food.
But sometimes you gotta eat fish.
Cap grew up in the small country of Samoa.
And in Samoa, we learn how to survive from our ancestors.
At a time where everything we know we get from the internet, it is refreshing to see people who can survive without it.
That's 1 minute. We'll see you tomorrow.
What I'm holding right now is normal paper. But what if I told you that this paper is made out of poop? Real elephant poop. Someone in the country of Sri Lanka took something that's very worthless, poop, and made a business out of it. Turns out elephants in real life are vegetarian, and they produce poop filled with fiber that's honestly not that disgusting. So someone took this poop, dried it, cleaned it, dyed it, spread it, compressed it, smoothed it, cut it, combined it, and made it into a real paper product that is sold in over 30 countries. All of this comes from the poop of 8 elephants only because each one of them poops 16 times a day. To make this paper, you don't need to cut down any forests like this. You give jobs to people who are otherwise unemployed and you build a business. There is no better way to describe this. They made a business out of shit. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Hi. This tiny thing looks like a harmless nut. But if you try to eat this nut, if you try to peel it, add a mustard seed to it, add lime to it, and put it in your mouth, it will taste sour, it will turn your mouth red, and once you spit, it will wake you up with energy and get you high. This is the betel nut. It's something I've seen all around the world. In Maldives, India, Myanmar, and Pakistan. But here in Papua New Guinea, I'm not exaggerating when I say that it's everywhere.
Yeah!
But at what cost?
Just like smoking, betel nut is proven to cause cancer, disease, and addiction. Yet, people still love it. Think of it like smoking in other countries, but instead of doing this, people do this. The products are different, but the danger is the same. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. I eat meat. But I have just arrived to a place where I don't need it. Yeah! This is Tel Aviv, Israel. It's the city that is considered the vegan capital of the world because in this city, 200,000 people are
vegan.
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 Vegan. Vegan.
Vegan. I am a vegan.
It's the highest percentage in the world of vegans, which means in this city there are hundreds of restaurants that use no eggs, no meat, no milk, no animals.
Just plants.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say that it's delicious.
You like it, Nash? He can't even speak, that's how much he loves it.
Instead of chicken, they eat mushrooms, beef, artichokes, milk, coconuts, and meat is from mushrooms.
And this burger is vegan.
In the city of Tel Aviv, people don't hate meat. They just made so much delicious vegan food that you don't even need to eat meat. That's 1 minute. Hi. If it isn't obvious by now, I don't change my t-shirt, do my hair, or wear any accessories. It's just my style. but I have just arrived to a place where people have a different style than mine that is much more beautiful. This country is called Turkey, and it's where men like me spend so much time to take care of their looks, young and old. They got the bracelets, rings, shoes, glasses, shirts, tattoos, beards, and hair. Everything fits together that's straight out of a magazine. Turkey is one of the most interesting places with unique food, culture, and people. Yes! This country is beautiful, and the people are too. That's 1 minute. Okay. We have just arrived to a place that makes no sense to us. We are now in a car on the bottom of a hill, and the hill is going up. But when we put the car on neutral, the car doesn't go down, it goes up, as if there is no gravity. We bought a football and put it on the bottom of the hill, and the ball too went up. We dropped water on the ground, the water went up. We tried walking up the hill, it was too easy, and walking down was too hard. This is a hill in Armenia's mountains where gravity went nuts. Down is up and up is down, and that will blow your mind. But in reality, gravity is not nuts. This is just an optical illusion where it looks different from what it actually is. But who cares? For this day, on this hill, on this mountain, gravity went nuts. And it's a lot more fun this way. That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow! Hello from the flat Earth! Yes, this is the edge of the flat Earth. Hold on. Before we go any further, the Earth is round and flat Earth is a joke. But, according to a hypothetical flat Earth map, one of the corners of the world is located here on an island called Fogle Island in Newfoundland, Canada. This is where some people believe the edge of the flat Earth is. So if you jump from here, you'll end up in China. Or something like that. On this island, you will find an actual museum of flat Earth theory. This is the edge of the world! But you will also find 4,000 locals who believe in common sense that the Earth is round. Come visit this beautiful island at the edge of the world. But before you do, remember that the Earth is round! That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow! Hi! My entire life, I grew up speaking 3 languages. And I always thought 3 languages is impressive. Impressive because other people couldn't speak more than 1 language. But not here in the country of Papua New Guinea. This is a remote developing country where people can speak an average of 3 to 5 languages each. How many languages do you speak? 3. I speak 5 languages. This country has more than 800 languages, making it the most linguistically diverse country in the world. It's where the majority of people live in tribes on top of mountains far away from everyone. That's how so many languages develop. Studies say if you speak more than 1 language, your brain gets healthier and you're less likely to get brain disease. In that case, imagine what goes on in the brains of these guys who live in a country with more than 800 languages. See you tomorrow! Hey! 2 years. 2 years is the number of years I spent traveling, living out of a suitcase. Inside of it, I only have 10 t-shirts, underwear, and 1 pair of pants. Before this life, I used to have a lot of things in my home, but now I own very little and buy almost nothing. I walk through shops and spend $0 not because I'm cheap, but because for any new product, it has to pass the mountain test. If the product is worth carrying up a mountain on my back with no hassle, then I buy it. If it's not, then I don't. Because it would be impossible to climb a mountain if I bought everything that I liked. This mountain test is an extreme example, but the idea behind it is simple. There's a lot of things we don't need to have on top of a mountain or inside a house or really anywhere in our lives. And I am convinced, traveling or not, the fewer objects we have in our lives, the closer we will be to reaching the peak of freedom. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hey, I've never done this before, but this is an extra. I hope you liked that 1 minute video. Unfortunately, there are 90 days left of this 1,000-day journey. So this is the perfect time to follow Nas Daily, either here or here, because whatever is going to come next is going to be bigger and better than this. I hope you stick around, and thank you so much for your time. This is Shanine.
Hi, I'm Shanine, and I gave birth to this child.
If you lost your faith in humanity, this baby will restore it. Shanine is the friend of Shantae. Shantae is a 2-time cancer survivor.
And because of that, I can't have kids for the rest of my life.
So Shanine volunteered to have a baby for her. After 9-month pregnancy, a surgery, psych evaluation, time off work, monthly doctor visits, and 75 shots with a 3-inch needle, Shanine gave birth to Shantae's kid.
And now Abraham is part of our family.
She did all of the above for free, no money involved, expecting nothing in return.
Making her a mom is the reward.
This person put her life on the line to give the gift of life to another family. This is the most beautiful form of human kindness.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
He's crying.
Dad stays away from you.
Bam! That's the one. Hell yeah!
Meet Levon.
Hi, my name is Levon, and I will never die.
But from the look of him, he honestly looks like he's about to die. He has white hair, disheveled clothes, he's 65 years, he's retired, living in a tiny apartment by himself, waiting for his last day. But is he?
Not bad!
This guy, despite his age, is Armenia's most popular roller skater, and his skate park is the highway. Don't try this at home. Every day he skates on the highways with no helmet, no fear of cars, no fear of accidents, and no fear of police. You'd think people would hate him for this, but they don't. They love him, and the police, he says, is his friend.
Everyone is my friend.
Levon lives every day free of fear and full of life.
If you're not afraid of death, death stays away from you.
And that mentality has made this guy ageless.
That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow!
What I'm about to show you will blow your mind just like it blew mine. See, I'm here with my girlfriend, vacationing on a nice island off the coast of Singapore. It's pretty, it's clean, it's nice. But what if I told you that this nice island is made of trash? I kid you not, Singapore is so clean that even their trash island looks like this. Not this or this. They take the entire country's garbage, They burn it, collect the ashes, and ship to a man-made island to bury in special waters. All of this while keeping nature clean. It doesn't smell at all, it doesn't hurt the environment, the corals are still alive, the animals are still around, and the jungle is still green. People even come to take wedding photos at a landfill. In many countries, landfills are painful to look at and to visit. This is why everybody needs to see this, because the people of Singapore have made a landfill feel like a resort. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow!
Hi! Yesterday, my father called me and said,
"You're lucky you're going to Hawaii."
I said, why? Then he replied,
"Because in Hawaii, there are no snakes."
No snakes, 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 snakes. Turns out my dad is right. The Hawaiian Islands are so remote from the rest of the world that here there are no animals to be scared of. No snakes, no tigers, no hyenas, no lions, no crocodiles. Not here, here, or anywhere in the entire state of Hawaii. The only thing to worry about are tiny bugs, pigs, your neighbor's dog, and a few sharks in the ocean. Tell your dad from my dad that at least on this beautiful island in the middle of the ocean, you are safe! That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Boring, boring, boring. Most libraries are boring. But not this one in Toronto, Canada, because here it's more than just books. Here, the library teaches you how to knit clothes. The library teaches you how to make shoes, how to public speak, how to paint, and even how to make sushi. They have a full replica of a Sherlock Holmes study room. They have printers that print in 3D. A million computers, a million books, a million newspapers from 120 countries every day. And even studio. All of this is inside one of 100 libraries that are entirely free in Canada. There is no other way to whisper it. The people of Canada have turned a boring place into a wonderland. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Let me ask you a question.
Do you understand English?
Because even if the answer is yes, the minute you land in this English-speaking country,
you'll feel like you don't.
You do not. This is Ireland, a unique country where the locals have some of the thickest accents in English that we have ever heard.
You're right in the bleeding maggot with me now, I'm telling you.
Something as simple as what's up, people say,
"What's a crack?
How are you?
How are you, bud?"
And full sentences become really hard to understand.
I need to go to the sunbed shop.
What?
some bad.
Mind you, all of this is considered English here in Ireland.
Why can't you understand us?
In this country, you need to pay full attention to every word they say to understand them.
But go for a pint of Guinness.
And if you don't, it's okay. Just get a pint of beer, a friend or two, and have a mighty good time in the country of Ireland.
Welcome to Ireland! That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow!
When I was a kid, I grew up in a conservative community, and I was taught to greet a stranger, you extend your hand, shake their hand, say hey, and that's that. But after visiting Barcelona, and after visiting Peru, Colombia, Brazil, I realized that Latin people are so warm. To say hello, you hug, you touch, you kiss again, and call each other guapo, which means
good looking!
Even if you don't know them. The Latinos are so friendly that when they greet my girlfriend by kissing her, I get jealous. After meeting so many Latinos, I realized that a hug is nothing to be afraid of. A hug is just another way to say hello. That's 1 minute! When I got my first ever job, I was paid minimum wage for doing really hard work, picking peaches. I would work so hard every minute of that hour to get $6. Little did I know that if I came here to Australia for the exact same job, I would be paid a lot more. In most cases, $14 to $20 an hour for the same work. Here in Australia, they have one of the highest minimum wages in the world, and therefore one of the highest salaries in the world. They are so high that people from all around the world, Germany, France, the United States, come here to work and make a ton more money under a working holiday visa. They work in places as beautiful as this, diving and growing pearls, managing camels, running supermarkets, or waiting tables. And in their free time, they get to travel to some of the most beautiful places on earth. Everyone in the world wants to make money and travel. And here, you can do both. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Merry Christmas from the city where Jesus was born!
Bethlehem. Today is a special day. It's Christmas.
Hello, baby. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for everybody.
The holiday celebrating the birth of Jesus in December, even though he was born in April. But who cares? What matters is that everyone came together to celebrate. Christians came, Muslims came, and Jews came, all celebrating Christmas as one in the heart of Nazareth, where Jesus lived, and Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. On this merry day, at least for today, let's forget our differences and focus on what brings us together: joy, happiness, and the love for each other. So from our diverse family to your family,
Merry Christmas! That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow!
Hi! The guy you see next to me is the tallest guy in the world.
Hi, my name is Sultan, tallest man.
As of 2009, this guy is officially the world's tallest at 2 meters and 51 centimeters. And when you're that tall, a normal person is tiny. A normal door is too short, a normal bed is not enough, and a normal phone is too small.
Oops.
Sultan's hands are the biggest in the world, and so are his feet.
My body is a gift from God.
He's so big that he's unable to drive a car, and to fly, he has to be in business class. All of this is to show you how big Sultan is from the outside. But from the inside, this tall giant is humble, funny, and friendly. There's no other way to describe him. This giant is down to earth.
That 1 minute.
See you tomorrow! Woo!
This is my friend Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Sarah doesn't have a boyfriend, but in Singapore, she doesn't need one because she can rent a boyfriend
for a day.
For a day. In today's world, there are companies that offer you to rent a boyfriend or a girlfriend for a day and you pay per hour. And once you order, boom!
Hi, I'm boyfriend.
A boyfriend is there in no time. You can go for dinner, for a walk, for a shopping spree, for a family reunion, or just to Netflix and chill. But in this case, there is
no kissing,
no stripping,
no phones, no fighting,
just friends.
It's a way to find company when you need it and a way to make extra money when you need it. Some of these guys even have girlfriends.
And my girlfriend is fine with this.
Wow! In 2018, everything is possible.
That's what Minute! See you tomorrow!
This video is about religion, but I swear to God, Allah and Krishna that it's not negative. See, the truth is, in many countries, religion can break people apart and create an us versus them mentality. But I am so happy to say that I found a country where it doesn't. This is the story of the beautiful country of Albania. In this secular country, 4 different types of religions live in peace, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that you won't be able to tell who is Muslim, who is Christian, or who is whatever. Because when you ask them what religion they belong to, they will say,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because religion doesn't define people here. They are just Albanians living together. Ever since I was a kid, I was taught that religion is a personal thing between you and your God. And in the country of Albania, that's exactly where religion is, between people and their God. And it's beautiful.
That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow!
Oh my God! This is one of the most unique things I have ever seen! It's a river in the Amazon jungle that is boiling. This unique river is so hot, you can fry an actual egg on top of it and make tea just from its water. It's so dangerous if you fall into it. Humans get burned and animals die. This boiling river is not a hot spring or a volcano. It's glacier water heated from the bottom of Mother Earth that makes a 7-kilometer river in Peru's jungles that will blow your mind, heal your body, and boil your breakfast. And at the end of it, where it gets colder, the water feels like the world's best jacuzzi.
That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow!
The guy next to me will make you change your mind on the term keyboard warrior because he is the real warrior.
That is fun.
When he was 18, his entire muscle system collapsed and he could no longer move. And for the next 19 years, he's been bedridden in his home in Sri Lanka. But this is not a sad story, it's an inspiring one. Despite having strength only in one finger, he taught himself to read and write English. He wrote and wrote and wrote. And when he couldn't write on a laptop, he wrote on an iPhone to publish 3 full books in English that sold in the thousands. One of them took 1 year to type. Doctors gave him until 18 to live, but now he's 37, living on a ventilation machine, fasting during Ramadan, and planning his 4th book. This guy fought to live his life, fought to write his thoughts, and fought to make his voice heard only through a keyboard. He should be the new definition of a keyboard warrior.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
You can't smoke. Everybody knows that you cannot smoke inside airplanes. You cannot smoke inside hotels. You cannot smoke inside shopping malls. But what if I told you that now you cannot even smoke outside? Let me explain. In the country of Singapore, the people took it a step further and decided to ban smoking inside and outside. In this entire 3-kilometer district, smoking is no longer allowed. No smoking on the street, no smoking on the sidewalk, no smoking around people, no smoking anywhere in this entire gigantic, busy shopping area. You can only light up a cigarette in tiny, tiny boxes that are clearly marked. This is amazing because smoking not only hurts you, it also hurts everyone around you, us. That's why this ban here in Singapore and hopefully everywhere in the world is terrible news for smokers. But for the rest of us, this is great news. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hi. Unfortunately, I'm a person that curses a lot. Man, it's hard. Today I'm hanging out. This is something I've always wanted to change, but I couldn't because it's hard until I arrived here
in Utah.
Utah is a state that is 60% Mormon, and because people here are very religious, they don't drink alcohol, tea, or coffee, and they do not curse. So when I came here and made friends, I found myself not cursing because I didn't want to be offensive or rude.
What the? Shh. It's not nice.
That's how I reduced my cursing by a lot. This is the best example of how your environment influences who you become. And when everyone around you tries to be better, you become better yourself. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow!
Hi! The kid you see next to me is only 14 years old. But this kid started a bank.
Hi, my name is Jose and this is my story.
Jose saw that a lot of his classmates spend money, but they don't save money.
It's important to save money.
So at the age of 12, Jose started a real bank in Peru that turns his classmates' allowances into a savings account with its own debit card.
It's the first bank in the world started by a kid.
His bank got so popular, he found 3,000 customers, saved $50,000, and hired 8 employees that are older than him.
This is just the beginning.
He also built a system that helps kids make money by recycling their plastic. Kids can get plastic waste, go to his bank, give plastic, and get money in their account.
It's a win-win.
As we adults are busy spending money, let's look at this kid who built an entire legal banking system that saves money and saves the environment. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Hi. What if I told you that in Peru, people communicate using fruits and vegetables? For example, papaya. If you do something easy, like lifting a pencil with your hand, people call it
papaya!
Because papaya in Peruvian slang means
easy!
When you call something yuca, like the vegetable, it means it's hard. When you call someone lentils, it means they're slow.
Apúrate, no seas lenteja!
And when you call someone avocado, it means what they are doing is
embarrassing!
Churro, like the tasty, sugary dessert, means they are handsome. Carrot means they are innocent, and even pineapple means
unlucky!
Languages can be very yucca, but if you add fruits to them, like in Peru, they can be very papaya. In your local language, you probably use the word please a lot. Please pass the salt. Can I please have water? Please, please, please. Please! But now that I'm here in Copenhagen, Denmark, I learned that in their local language, they don't say please because they don't have a word for it. An entire language that does not include please. But before you think they are rude, hear me out. Instead of please, the Danish say, can you be sweet and pass the salt? Or may I beg you for the water? Or they just nod as a way to be friendly when they talk. This experience has taught me that you can say please and be rude, and you can never say please at all and still be friendly like these guys. It's proof that it's not what you say that matters, it's how you say it.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Okay, I have just arrived to the most beautiful ocean ever. It's blue, it's refreshing, it's beautiful. But what if I told you that this ocean is dying? Yes, if you go inside the waters, you'll see coral reefs that are dead. Dead coral means dead ocean. That's why this group of people in the Seychelles Islands stepped in to help.
Hi!
They made a program to allow you, me, or anyone to adopt coral. The process is simple. You pick the coral from their kiosk and pay a small donation. They take it, go to the ocean, plant it for you, and give you a certificate of adoption. Your coral will grow to replace the dead ones and make the fish and ocean more alive.
It's that simple!
If millions of people do their small part to help revive the ocean, then maybe, just maybe, the oceans won't die after all.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow!
Meet Elaine.
Hi, I'm Elaine and I'm married to Chocolate.
Elaine took something everybody loves,
chocolate,
and put it in something everybody loves,
food,
to create a restaurant that everybody loved. With the help of her chef from Spain, they made over 40 meals that have chocolate in them.
Are you ready for this?
They made a salmon tartare with chocolate, salt from chocolate, quinoa with chocolate, chicken marinated with chocolate, French fries with chocolate, grilled cheese with chocolate, cocktails from chocolate, skincare products from chocolate, chocolate soap, and even a perfume made of chocolate.
Back in the old days, poor people in Puerto Rico would have chocolate as their main meal.
And Elaine is trying to put chocolate back in everyone's main meal.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Imagine if I give you a pair of shoes that are a little bit too small. You put them on, you feel uncomfortable, and you can't wait to take them off. Nobody likes tight shoes. But this is exactly what happened to this woman. She and many girls were forced to wear very tiny shoes for years just to keep their feet small. The smaller the feet, the better looking a woman was considered, even if it meant deforming the body. This shocking tradition back then was considered beautiful. But this is not a sad story, it's an inspiring one. 91 years ago, China banned this tradition here and everywhere. And this 95-year-old grandma is one of only 10 women left with these feet in the world. This tradition is no more, and this is a reminder that we should be grateful for all the traditions that we didn't have to follow. That's 1 minute.
每天学
Hi. When I first started dating my girlfriend,
Hi, my name is Aline.
a lot of people assumed that I'm paying for her, that she's getting stuff for free, and that she is with me for the fame and the money, because I'm the guy making videos on traveling.
And I'm just the girlfriend.
I get these comments all the time, but the truth is, my girlfriend is 3 times richer than me. She covers her expenses and she started traveling way before I started. In other words, she's not a gold digger or a fame digger.
I barely even know how to dig.
My girlfriend has more money, but money doesn't matter. What matters is that we shouldn't be so quick to judge others without knowing them.
Whether they are men
or whether they are women. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Meet Anna.
Hi, my name is Anna and we want your trash.
Everyone gets rid of trash, but Anna, along with her friends, collect it to save the world. They take your empty milk box, compress it, clean it, heat it, shred it, and turn it into this.
This is a little baby.
And it's amazing.
It is, and with it, they make wonders. They can make a chair, real furniture, handbags, placemats, roof tiling, and even a real, functioning house.
To build this house, we saved 1.2 million milk boxes.
And the material looks just as real as this, for a cheaper price. Trash pollution is a real problem around the world, and not many people know what to do with it. But these guys from Ecuador are saving 11 million milk boxes every month to build a cleaner, safer environment for themselves and for others.
That's 1 minute! Nos vemos mañana!
Nice.
Sorry, I was startled.
Meet Yonna.
Hi, I'm Yona, and I broke up with my boyfriend.
Hold on for a second and hear their story. Unlike most people, this breakup did not happen because they fell out of love, because of cheating or fighting. It happened because they found out that
we are related.
Yonna and her ex live in Iceland, a small country with 300,000 people that are descendants of the same Viking family, which means odds are you're genetically related to most people around you. So when they found out they were related,
we had to break up.
Because family marriages have an increased risk of birth defects. And as small as the risk, some prefer just not to do it. So, 8 years later, she's dating another Icelandic guy, and to their relief,
we are not related.
In a country where everyone is from the same family, their advice is this.
Don't date your relatives. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Hi. When I was a student, my teacher told me that I shouldn't copy my classmates. Because according to her, copying is bad. But now that I'm here in China, it seems like copying is not that bad. Because everywhere I go, I see people copying products from the West. Entire markets are just copies of luxury brand names detail for detail. I walk into an electronics store thinking that it's Apple because they have an iPhone 10, new MacBooks and old MacBooks. But turns out this is not Apple. This is a copy of Apple. The only difference is what's inside, the price, and the logo. On the streets, I see cars that look like Tesla and towns that look like Paris. And both are copies of Tesla and Paris. People say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. That's true. But if my teacher came to China and saw what I saw, then she might get a heart attack. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Meet Bashar.
Hi, my name is Bashar, and I got arrested 8 times.
Bashar grew up in Nablus, Palestine, and as a kid, he would regularly protest the Israeli occupation by throwing rocks at them.
But my rocks didn't go far.
They did, however, get him arrested by Israel 8 times. Then he realized he needed a more effective way to be heard. So he went to the US, pursued an engineering degree, opened 30 businesses, got into real estate, and got rich.
Rich enough.
So rich, he decided to make the biggest gamble of his life. He launched a $1 billion campaign to build a new city from scratch in the middle of Palestine.
To house 40,000 people and create 10,000 new jobs for Palestinians.
And his project has worldwide support, even from many Israelis. This is the crazy story of Bashar, who instead of throwing rocks, decided to build an entire city out of them. And that was the most effective rock he ever threw.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
If you watch TV, you will see a lot of news about war and conflict pretty much everywhere. It's depressing. That's why I turned off the news and escaped to a country that doesn't make the news. Because this is the most peaceful country in the world, and it's called Iceland! Iceland has no military.
No!
It has full gender equality.
Yes!
Great air quality. Great healthcare, very high wages, very low crime rate. It has no corruption, no McDonald's, and no mosquitoes. This can be the best place to live in despite the ridiculous weather. It's cold, really cold. This is just the story of one peaceful country. Imagine how the world would look like if every country was as peaceful as Iceland. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. This is my sister.
Hi, I'm Naya.
In her bank account, she has $300 total, but she came to Iceland for a 20-hour layover, only to realize that Iceland will get her broke. She took a bus to see the city, $40. She ate lunch, $30. She wanted clothes, oh, that's too expensive. To see the nearest attraction, the Blue Lagoon, she has to pay $100. To buy the cheap groceries, $4, $6, $12 are normal prices here. This is why Iceland is one of the most expensive countries in the world for tourists, where a 20-hour layover can break your bank. At the end of her 20 hours layover, she was sent with a little bit of an Icelandic souvenir. Not the $10 mini snowman, but the $5 Icelandic air. $5 for air. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Boring, boring. Many museums are boring. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. But I have just arrived to our country with a museum that is underwater. The opposite of boring. This rare underwater museum is made up of 13 pieces of art that you can only see if you take a boat and get in the water. Where some pieces are buried 28 feet underwater. This was built to attract fish to come to the damaged reef, and also to attract tourists like me. Now, this genius museum has more visitors than your average museum because it's so amazing. Underwater and above water, this place is stunning.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
This video is dedicated to my parents and probably your parents. Dear parents, people in China don't die. Here's what I mean. In many countries, I noticed when people get older, they stop working, they stop exercising and living. They sit there waiting for their final day and giving up on life while they're still alive. But not here in China. I wake up at 7 a.m. only to see parks filled with seniors exercising, dancing to traditional music, doing martial arts, swimming, and jogging with their canes in order to stay healthy and alive.
92!
They do it every single day and every single night. No excuses. Tell your parents and grandparents that people in China don't sit around waiting to die. Here, life ends only when life really ends, not 1 minute before.
Just 1 minute! See you tomorrow!
It's midnight and I can't sleep. I can't sleep because it's not dark outside. Reminder, it's midnight. See, here in Iceland, the country is so far up north that during summer it does not get dark. And after a few days without darkness, I realized how much I need it. Darkness helps you fall asleep and wake up at the right time. Darkness helps you stay inside to be with friends and family, and it tells your body that it's time to rest. But when it's light for 24 hours a day, your sleep schedule is all over the place. You lose sense of time and everyone is out and about all the time. We don't appreciate things until we lose them, and now that I lost darkness, my message to you is this: appreciate the beautiful sunrise, the beautiful sunset, and the beautiful darkness in the middle, because they help you more than you think they do. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow, and good night. Okay, this is interesting. The country you see behind me is as hard for me to enter as North Korea. Because this is Malaysia. With my Israeli passport, it's almost impossible for me to enter their country, and even more impossible for them to enter mine, all because of politics. It's simple. Malaysia and Israel are not friends. But over the past week, I got to make a lot of Malaysian friends here in Singapore. I got to know a lot more about their culture, their food, and their language.
Jump!
For now, my friendship with Malaysians could only exist outside of Israel and outside of Malaysia. But I am convinced that one day, when governments make peace, we will meet inside of Malaysia, inside of Israel, and inside of Palestine. Inshallah!
That's 1 minute! See you tomorrow!
Olives, olives, olives. I have just arrived to a country that's probably the best at making olives. This is Palestine. It's a country where 60% of the land is filled with 8 million olive trees. Some of these trees are thousands of years old, older than Rome. And from each tree, the Palestinians make wonders. They take the olives and turn them into gold.
Best olives.
This Palestinian olive oil can be quite expensive because here it makes good food even better. And even the tree itself has become a symbol of the entire country. From the same trees, they make pickled olives, olive soap, and olive tree souvenirs. Come visit Palestine and taste their olives. Trust me, they won't disappoint. That's 1 minute! Potatoes! Potatoes!
Potatoes!
When I was a kid, I thought there was one type of potato. This. But I have just arrived to a country with more than 4,000 types of potatoes. Welcome to... Peru is a country in South America that is considered to be the birthplace of potatoes. Their potatoes come with so many colors, so many shapes, and so many tastes.
I have a potato.
Potato. Potato.
I have a potato.
Potato.
In fact, this is where Europe got their potatoes from. See? And this is how potatoes became one of the world's most popular foods. Come to Peru, where the potatoes are more than just French fries. That's what
Muchas babas!
Konnichiwa. What I'm about to eat is arguably the best sushi in the world, because this piece of sushi came from this place. The world's largest fish market, Tsukiji Market in Japan. And inside of it, you'll find hundreds of fishermen coming together every sunrise to sell fish. These people have dedicated their lives to finding the best fish in the world, the perfect color, fattiness, and freshness. And when they find that perfect catch, they buy it for tens of thousands of dollars. That's like how much a car is worth. All of this takes decades of experience, hundreds of people, and tons of work every day just so you can enjoy that piece of sushi.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Yes!
Yes! Yes!
This maple syrup bottle is why Canadians are the best.
Hi, we are the Hutchinson family.
And we're Canadian.
Like every Canadian, this family loves maple syrup. They love it so much they made a business out of it.
And it's a small business.
They produce it and ship it to many countries,
Including Saudi Arabia.
But last month, things changed. Saudi Arabia banned Canadian imports without warning, so 900 liters of Saudi Arabian maple syrup were going to waste. And this small business was about
to lose a lot of money.
And this is why Canadians are the best. They stick together at time of need. Yeah! When this family struggled, hundreds of Canadians called them up to order this Saudi Arabian labeled maple syrup. Not because they need it, but because they wanted to show solidarity.
In 5 days only, everything sold out.
As other countries measure power based on weapons, let's look at Canada. Because this kind of community is the real power.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Metro. I hate the metro. This is what I say every time I take a metro because it's always too hot or too slow. But not here in Hong Kong. Because what you're looking at is the world's best metro, and this is not an exaggeration. In Hong Kong, if the metro is delayed by more than 30 minutes, they have to pay a 1 million Hong Kong dollar fine that goes back to the people. That's why the metro is on time 99.9% of the time. Here, the stations are so clean you can sleep on them. They are air-conditioned for convenience with glass doors for safety, free Wi-Fi for connectivity, and people around for help.
My job is to help people to solve their problems.
Each ride costs 70 cents only, which is a lot cheaper than New York or London. It's a business that works without ripping people off. Everyone should look at Hong Kong and build a metro like theirs. A metro that pays $1 million if they're late, because maybe then we'll have no delays. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. What you see behind me are hundreds of dogs eating 1 ton of food just to illustrate their point. And that point is simple. Egypt is cheap. A 5-star luxury hotel is under $200. That is affordable. But when you go to the streets, it gets even more cheap. An entire McDonald's meal is $2. Another meal will cost you 50 cents. Eating with friends, that's $2. A tourist price souvenir, that's 20 cents. It's so cheap in Egypt that I can feed 600 of these dogs for $100. That's 13 cents to feed an animal. 13 cents. Egypt has only recently become this cheap, and some locals are not too happy about it. But if you're watching this from the United States, come visit Egypt. Trust me, it's worth it. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Meet Fethi and Yanis.
Hi. We are almost killing each other.
This is the incredible story of Fethi and Yanis, who almost killed each other without even knowing each other. 44 years ago, Yanis served in the Greek army, and on his last day in the army, he was called to battle. And in that battle, Yanis was shot in the head by Fethi in the Turkish army.
I thought I killed him, but I survived.
Yanis went to the hospital and lived, and 34 years later, he wrote about his story in a book. That book made its way to Fethi, and to his surprise, the same guy he shot was alive. He called up Yanis asking for forgiveness, and Yanis forgave him. Political conflict in Cyprus made these two guys fight in a war, but now they're fighting for something better. Peace.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Meet Takoro.
Hi, my name is Takuro. I want to beat Google.
Takoro is a smart guy from Japan. Just like Google, he built a search engine. You type what you want and it shows you results in your email after 3 days.
It wasn't as fast as Google.
That failed. Then, just like Google Glass, he built a ring. You move your hand and it controls your devices.
But Google Glass was better.
And his ring failed. Then he built a translator. But unlike Google Translate, it doesn't need internet, it's portable, fast, and it works. Especially
when you travel.
Yes! And he convinced the Japanese government to help him make it better. Takoro spent 6 years trying to compete with Google. But for the first time in his life, this guy might actually have a shot at winning.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow!
Hi. The truth is, my girlfriend and I fight a lot.
Almost
Every
single
day. Lots of people see our intense, frequent fights and think that we're not a good match. But here is why they might be wrong. Out of 1,000 fights that we've had so far, we made peace after 10 minutes on average. 10 minutes. And this is why our relationship works. We fight fast, but instead of dragging it out, we recover even faster. No matter how intense the fight,
No, you can't randomly say we let go.
Rise above
and move on.
Very fast. In any relationship, we are convinced the number of fights shouldn't matter.
I'm the one, I'm the lady that'll rock this place.
Because if you deal with them right, they don't last more than a minute.
That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow. What you're looking at is a golf cart that could be the world's most expensive golf cart. Because this one has a price tag of
$150,000.
Yes, that is more than a Tesla. This is a town on a Hong Kong island that decided to ban cars and only allow a limited number of golf carts on the streets. And because of that, golf cart prices went from $5,000 to $150,000.
Golf carts!
But despite that, many people still want to live here even if they are not rich. Because this island has no noise or car pollution. It has beautiful beaches, beautiful schools, and a neighborhood made entirely of boats. where people live on the water. $150,000 for a golf cart is crazy, but the locals don't seem to mind because they can just walk.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Potatoes! Potatoes!
Potatoes!
When I was a kid, I thought there was one type of potato. This. But I have just arrived to a country with more than 4,000 types of potatoes. Welcome to... Peru is a country in South America that is considered to be the birthplace of potatoes. Their potatoes come with so many colors, so many shapes, and so many tastes.
I have a potato.
Potato. Potato.
I have a potato.
Potato.
In fact, this is where Europe got their potatoes from. See? And this is how potatoes became one of the world's most popular foods. Come to Peru, where the potatoes are more than just French fries. That's what I'm saying.
Muchas papas.
This is where we are. On top of a kayak in the middle of Copenhagen's beautiful canal. But on the surface of this canal, there is trash. So one guy came up with an idea.
Hi, my name is Tobias.
Why not give away kayaks for free, no money involved, under one condition? Pick up trash while you're kayaking and bring it back. Instead of paying $65 to rent, it's yours for free. And this idea people love. They book the kayak weeks in advance. They use it to hang out, see the beautiful city, save the environment, and save money. From one kayak, people picked up 3 tons of trash in less than a year. And if this can be done by one small kayak, imagine if there were 1 million more. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Before we begin, shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. I hope you're ready.
Hello from the middle of the world, the equator!
In Ecuador, where the northern and the southern hemispheres are separated by this line. At the middle of the world, twice a year, your shadow disappears entirely because the sun is right above you. The water drains straight down, not right or left. Your wash is not needed because of solar time. Here, you can't balance yourself on a straight line. But you can balance an egg on a nail. At the equator, you are very close to the sun. Because the mountains are high and the earth bulges towards the center. An entire country, Ecuador, is named after this place, where you will find this, and these people. The world is a fun place, but in the middle of it, it's even more fun.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Today, my friends and I arrived in a tiny town hidden in the Andes mountain called Baños. Because they told us, here you can do anything you want. With one push from a stranger, you're swinging into the mountains. And with another, you'll feel like in heaven. With one thumbprint, you'll get an ATV machine and break it too. With one click, you'll see beautiful nature. With $1, you'll get tons of bananas. With one request, you'll get a ride from the police and get to sound the siren too. You're arrested! With one dip, you'll be in volcanic hot spring water. With one harness, you'll fall off a bridge. And with one wrong step forward, you will be dead. All of this is happening right near an active volcano that is due to erupt any day now. But for today, the smallest actions led to the biggest, most amazing experiences.
The
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
We f***ed up. We f***ed up. As I stand here in the Galapagos Islands, I can't help but think of how humans f***ed up nature. These islands have existed for millions of years, developing a wildlife you can't see anywhere else in the world. Until humans came with their cars, cities, dogs, chicken, cats and rats. Animals killed the peaceful wildlife and humans took over their homes. Here and everywhere, humans are destroying wildlife. Man-made climate change will affect water temperatures on these islands just by a few degrees. And these extra degrees will kill marine food, so marine animals can no longer find food. These marine iguanas, the only ones in the world, could starve to death. And I'm not even mentioning the human islands that could be gone because of climate change. Look, don't become vegetarian and don't turn off electricity. All I'm asking of you is this: just be mindful of nature. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hi, I'm back at Quito, Ecuador, the second highest capital in the world. Which means air quality here is good, but there's not much air. And when you're at such high altitudes, everything gets harder. A simple run, 2,800 meters high, will leave you breathless. And when you do the same run at 4,000 meters, it's much harder. This is the same height as the Himalayas base camp. And even there, it gets less oxygen. It's just as hard. At these altitude levels, your car, however fancy, will be slower due to low oxygen level. Your drone battery will have a shorter life, and these 10 stairs you need to climb will leave you breathless. At least I am. At island sea level, this is called a jog. Here, walking is an exercise, and your heart rate jumps by a lot. In Quito, Ecuador, having a big heart is a plus. Having big lungs is a must.
Eso es un minuto. Nos vemos mañana.
Hola from Ecuador! I have a question for you. How do you run a country? Most people look for answers in the developed world, like the US and Europe. But I found these answers in the developing world, like here in Ecuador. Take something as simple as food. Every item here has a simple guide showing you how healthy or unhealthy an item is. In the US, this is your guide, and it's complicated. Flying a drone here is not a problem either, even next to policemen. So I'm allowed to fly it, yes. Good, thank you so much. In other places, this could get you in jail. In Ecuador, immigrants are not frowned upon. Venezuelans come to Ecuador and Colombia in search of a better life, and they are welcome. Even the guy holding this camera is Venezuelan.
Hola.
Ecuador is the most underrated place I've been to, but it's also the place I learned the most while having fun. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. With Squarespace, you can choose from many templates. You can link all your social media accounts so you can post all at the same time. All you need is an idea and your website is done. You don't need a laptop. You can make any changes you want from your mobile phone. Go to squarespace.com/NasDaily and you will get 10% off your first purchase and a free trial. Thank you for watching the videos. See you guys soon. Hi, this is a normal sized nut, and this is the world's largest nut. Oh, yes, you are looking at it. This nut is bigger than an iPhone, bigger than a drone, and bigger than a human head. It's the size of a human butt. That's why people also call it the butt nut. This gigantic nut comes from an even bigger fruit that can weigh up to 42 kilograms. Okay, it's heavy. Can I go down? And it grows in only 2 islands in the entire world, the Seychelles Islands.
We have the biggest and heaviest nut in the world.
This nut is so rare that you are banned from eating it. Work out with it or do anything with it other than marvel at its size and its weight.
Wow, this is pretty big!
The world is full of nuts, but the biggest one of them all happens to look like a butt. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Meet Mpo.
Hi, my name is Mpo. I made this robot from scratch.
As I was walking down the street in Soweto, South Africa's largest township, I saw Mpo operating a robot that he built himself. He would touch one of 7 levers and the robot would go up and down. It would even lift things and move them. The robot is made of discarded materials, like the battery of an elevator and the motor of a drill machine.
And this took me 2 weeks to build.
This is a genius product built by a 20-year-old kid with very little support.
I'm the only one who's working out of family of 4.
If the same talent was found in another 20-year-old kid in the US, they would probably be at Google. But for now, you can find Mpo at the side of a street waiting to be recognized.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Besa! It's a word that doesn't mean much if you're from outside of Albania. But if you're from inside of Albania, Besa is the most important word. And that word means honoring your word. In the country of Albania, if you say you're gonna do something, you do it. If you promise or Besa to return money you borrowed, you have to return it and honor your word.
You have my Besa.
And even during World War II, when Jews were killed all over Europe, Albanians gave their Besa, or their promise, to help Jews and protect them. And no matter how hard it was, they did. It was one of the very few countries to do so. Just ask their president.
I'm the president of Albania. No single Jew was delivered to the Nazis, because we are the nation of Mother Teresa.
If there's anything we can learn from the Albanians is that if you give your word, you keep it, even if it means risking your life. In a world full of broken promises, we could all use a little bit more Besa in our lives. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow, and that's my Besa. Animals, danger, hyenas. Hi, the guy you see next to me will change your mind about animals. This is Abbas.
Hi, my name is Abbas. I am Heineman.
Abbas lives in a remote village in Ethiopia, where many dangerous wild hyenas live. But instead of getting scared, Abbas became their friend. During the day, Abbas goes to the market to find food.
I buy them food.
And takes it to his home. And during the night, the hyenas come out and magically show up at his doorstep. Not to attack him, but to play and eat with him.
They are my friends.
He even knows them on a first-name basis because this is his family's tradition.
For 4 generations.
What you're looking at is an amazing example of how animals are not our enemies.
He's scratching my back.
Because even hyenas, the wild, dangerous animals, can become a human's best friend.
That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow. Hey, yeah. Food guy. Hey.
Okay, this is crazy. If you've ever driven a car, then you definitely know this feeling. It's the feeling of anger you get when other people don't know how to park. They double park, they triple park, and they take more space than they deserve. That makes everyone angry. What the f, bro? But not here in Singapore, and I kid you not. 95% of all their cars are parked in reverse to save space and to make room for other cars. They only use the space they are allowed and no more. And the cars that don't do it are usually from another country. This is not the government or the law. This is the people who developed a culture of respecting road etiquette. That's why everyone needs to see this. Because in this tiny, tiny country with very limited space, the people are sharing it in the most respectful way possible. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Meet Sonoe.
Hi, my name is Sonoe, and I had a bad idea.
Sonoe had a lot of good ideas. She went to school in Japan, graduated, found a good job at a bank, then went to graduate school.
All good life choices.
Then she had a bad idea. She decided to quit and open a travel agency for stuffed animals and not humans. The idea is simple. She will take your stuffed animals, get it on a plane, serve it drinks, ride the train, visit monuments, local markets, and even eat dinner with fellow stuffed animals. All for $50 to $100. Everyone told her who would pay for this, or it won't work. So far, she took stuffed animals on more than 4,200 trips and got featured on the Colbert Report. But her bad idea helped those that needed it a lot.
Like disabled kids, old people, and low-income families.
Who could now travel at least through their stuffed animals. It helped. Sonoe left her comfortable life to do something everyone said will not work. But it did work for her and for others.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Meet Lou.
Hi, my name is Lou, and I want you to finish your beer.
Why? Because she only wants your glass. Lou lives in the beautiful island of Zanzibar. But because it's an island, glasses are used then thrown away, with no recycling facilities.
And this is mostly from tourists.
So she and her team decided to do something about it. For every 20 bottles they collect, one turns into a candlelight, one turns into a product like this, and 18 they crush entirely, add cement, a few special secrets, and bam! They can make a real functioning brick that can be used to build houses in a more sustainable way.
For every one house, we can save 50,000 bottles and save you money.
And your house should be twice as strong and nature twice as beautiful. But this solution takes years to perfect. And if they finally make it work, we'll see a lot of houses that are actually made of glass.
That's 1 minute!
Meet Angie.
Hi, my name is Angie and I'm a master of many skills.
Angie is so interesting, I have to tell you her story in a list format. She's a professional car racer. She only started last year, and last week she won first place in the Ferrari Challenge. She's all about cars. She knows how to fix cars, design cars, drift cars, and she owns more than 20 cars.
And I can also fly a helicopter.
This Corvette she designed, built, and assembled. This McLaren, she's rebuilding from scratch. All of this, she says,
makes me happy.
By age 15 though, she got a girl pregnant. And by age 20, she got herself in 7 near-death accidents.
But I'm still here after 37 years.
Now she manages 1 restaurant, 5 hotels, and has 17 tattoos. All of this is interesting. But what's even more interesting is that Angie used to be a man. But more on that later.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Hi. When you think of energy, you normally think of coal. You think of wind, you think of solar. But what you don't think of is the poop of guinea pigs. Yes, I have just arrived to a farm in the country of Peru, where these farmers created energy from the poop of guinea pigs.
This process is simple.
They take the poop of 1,000 guinea pigs, put it in underground chambers and pressure it. And that creates methane gas that can power their farm appliances and light bulbs. And the poop leftovers, they put in Coca-Cola bottles, called it
Coca-Cola.
And use it as a fertilizer to turn their entire farm green.
We make this product from the guinea pig poop.
This unique method is not enough to replace electricity, but it shows that you can make something out of nothing, that you can power a farm from guinea pig poop.
Esto fue un minuto.
Y nos vemos mañana.
Yeah. If it isn't obvious, I'm not white. I'm brown. And growing up in the Middle East, I thought white people lived in places like London. But now that I'm a grown-up in London, I realized I was wrong. London is not white. Turns out British white people in London are the minority, and the majority?
Pakistan,
India,
France,
Senegal.
People from all races and colors. This place has 300 languages spoken, a mayor of a Pakistani origin, and an Indian meal of tikka masala, considered by some to be a national dish. National dish?
My name is Black Lion, right? Black Lion from Jamaica.
Places like London make me happy because the more colors, culture, and languages you can fit in a city, the more people can call this place home. I'm not white, but in London, I feel at home! When you think of a slum, like the one behind me, you think of poverty, danger, and unemployment. That's what many people think when they see the third largest slum in the world, Dharavi in Mumbai, India. From above, it's where 1 million people live in tiny houses. But from below, this is much more than a slum. It's a place that generates $650 million every year. It's where I saw a huge recycling business, pottery business, leather, and garment business. This product was made in Dharavi, not Milan, not New York, or Paris. Here, I struggled to find someone who was not working. Even inside houses, women were working. And those that were not, I found them cleaning. Because even with dirty roads and no toilets, houses are clean inside. Dharavi is an economic powerhouse filled with huge businesses, engineers, artists, and hard workers. It just so happens to be called a slum. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hi. When I was 14 years old, my dad would compare me to the Japanese kids. He would say, kids in Japan are so smart, by the time they're 14 years, they have invented an app. And that would make me jealous. But 10 years later, I went to visit Japan only to see what my dad didn't see. I saw the smartest people in the world, but I also saw depression, stress, and suicide rates that are so high, there's an actual forest called the suicide forest in Japan. Turns out there's a hidden cost to all the expectations we have from people. The more expectations, the more pressure, the more unhappy life gets. Like my dad, I want my kids to be as smart as the Japanese, but I want them to do it only when the time is right. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Hey, let me ask you a question. What time do you normally wake up? 10 a.m.? See, like many of you, I used to wake up at 10 and sometimes 11 a.m. And by the time I finish breakfast, the day is almost over. But over the past week, I've been working with the International Red Cross in Papua New Guinea. And due to security and lack of electricity in these areas, we can only work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Which means we have to wake up early and sleep early. And this very strict schedule has surprisingly made every day much more productive. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And everyone's energy is through the roof. There is nothing wrong with staying up late and waking up late if it suits you. But for us, every day became a lot more productive when we woke up with the sun and went to sleep with the sun. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Everyone knows that children learn very quickly. And whatever they learn, they keep for the rest of their life. That's why here in the country of Armenia, I was amazed to see that in addition to math and science, children also learn chess. Here, every child is taught chess with dedicated schools and classrooms. This teaches them how to focus, compete, and develop their cognitive skills, so they grow up to become grandmasters like this guy with highly developed brains.
All from a game of chess.
Armenia is one of the best countries at chess in the world. Just ask their president.
Yes, I'm the president and we love chess.
But this isn't just about chess, it's about what we teach children. If we teach them discipline, patience, strategy, and focus from a young age, we can create a world where everyone is a grandmaster. That's 1 minute!
See you tomorrow!
Yes! Hi! I'm Iman.
And I'm a woman.
And after traveling to 60 countries around the world, here is what we learned. For men like me, we can wear whatever we want. We can go wherever we want, whenever we want. Day or night, no problem.
For women like me, we can't wear whatever.
She looks like a prostitute.
We can't walk wherever.
You might get raped.
Or whenever.
It's too dangerous at night for women.
This is not just us, this is the life of billions of women around the world, in rich countries and poor ones, who are still treated differently in the eyes of society, at workplace, and even in the eyes of their parents.
In many countries, parents are much stricter on their daughters than they are on their sons.
Travel has taught us that gender inequality is a global problem, and you don't need 60 countries to know this.
Just look outside your window
and see how much work we have left to do. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
Meet Angie.
Hi, my name is Angie and I used to be a man.
2 years ago, Angie's dad passed away, making him realize that life is short and that you need to follow what makes you happy. So he decided to do what he felt for years, change his gender to become a woman. And he decided to come out publicly using
Instagram.
His original username was
Hail to the King.
And her new account?
Hail to the Queen.
And that is how everyone knew that
Ian is now Angie.
This was no easy thing to do, and Angie expected a lot of pushback, but to her surprise,
and 99% of the reception was love and support.
When Angie was Ian, she was married to the supermodel Joey for 10 years. Now, she is still married to the same woman, and she still designs, builds, and races in the most manly world ever, the car world. Because sometimes the king can also be a queen.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.